Welcome to another episode of Career Juice, where we talk to real people with real jobs and get all the juice that it takes for them to succeed in the careers that they chose. I'm your host, Tiffany Yard, author of How to Rhyme with Your Boss, and the owner of Motovino, an education platform that pairs professional development training with really fun programs in wine. Today's guest is someone you might have seen on Cutthroat Kitchen, a private caterer and chef here in NYC, Cindy Thomas, owner of Feisty Flavors Catering. Let's get started.
You better drink something. Hold on. Well, madam, most folks recognize you from Cutthroat Kitchen. They recognize you from all of the interesting and influential people that you actually cater for and serve as a private chef to. So from the beginning, what got you into Feisty Flavors, and why even that name?
What got me into it was losing my job.
That's a motivator.
The name, I didn't sit down and think of the name. It was just that I noticed that whenever I speak, somebody's always telling me, "Oh, you're a feisty one." So feisty because it kind of has a twofold meaning, because my food is feisty. I tend to kind of step outside the box as far as my cuisine, and my personality is definitely a little feisty.
And so your influences are not only Caribbean but cross-cultural, in the sense that you don't just do Caribbean food, and when you actually do touch Caribbean menus, it's always with a twist.
Ever since I was a kid, I was never content to just be what I've been or be what people think I should be because I'm Caribbean or because I'm from Crown Heights in Brooklyn, or I believe that food is not just something that you eat, it is an experience. So why would I not put my experiences into the food? You'll find Caribbean, and that might be mixed with Asian, might be mixed with Latin, might be mixed with Italian, whatever I feel, at the time.
Yeah, and you're also self-taught. I mean, it says a lot for a woman of color in this industry that is predominantly male-led, to say that you kind of forged a path for yourself.
I was just always that way. I think it's because the way my household was set up. I grew up with both parents, but they were always working, and I pretty much had to be the parent, to my two sisters. I'm the oldest of three, and I think that's what caused me to always be the type to take the initiative, not to wait for somebody to say, "Hey, let me show you something." I would show it to myself, or I would say, "Hey, can you show me this?" It actually turned out to come in handy when you're running a business.
Yeah, no one really talks about entrepreneurship from a sense of all of the unglamorous parts. You spend a lot of time alone, a lot of time building things, fixing the website by yourself, and updating your business plans, and answering customer complaints and customer feedback and orders and everything. You juggle it all, and especially considering you do have a daughter, someone who's up to you, someone who appreciates the path that you've kind of laid for her.
Sometimes I'd rather just be stand up for 13 hours in front of the stove than be on my laptop for 7 hours updating my website. It's a lot. There's a lot. It's a process. It's always a process. I've learned to, and I'm still learning how to be a little more well-rounded, because again, I have a daughter. I mean, she's 19 years of age. She's not a baby, but in some ways she is. So I can't walk around brooding and bitter and stressed. So,
when you think about to your point just now about having to balance it all and having to keep a positive attitude, for, the days when they get really hard and your back feels like it's up against the wall, how do you deal?
Pray. I pray. There's a handful of people, and that's if my hand only had like 3 fingers on it, that I would reach out to and seek counsel, as it were. I'm very introspective. I'm very self-aware. I'm not the most religious person, but I am very spiritual. So a lot of my advice, it really does come as a result of me saying, "God, like, what is it? Like, am I missing something here?" I don't treat him like an ATM. I don't treat God like, "Yeah, give me $1 million or give me this job next week." I'm saying, if it's mine, just make sure I have it, and just make sure that I'm capable of receiving it. Because People tend to ask for things and they're actually not ready to have
once
them.
you get it, guess what?
Yeah.
The retention of it, maintaining of it is so
Right.
much harder,
It's harder.
than the acquisition. So
Right.
absolutely.
And it comes with maturity. It comes with a lot of things. I'm able to, when something goes wrong, I'm able to say, what's my part in this? A lot of people, sometimes twice my age, they can't get that done. Failing helps you to not be fine. I actually don't think that anybody should just be fine. You should always want to be better. I'm never comfortable.
Working in Gracie Mansion and being around so many political figures, I mean, I'm sure that's been a learning journey in itself.
Absolutely. And even that, I had to fight for the person that was sending me there. She was a little perturbed that I didn't go to culinary school. You saw my resume and you called me in here. I'm in this chair because you saw something on that paper that made me good for that job. So don't tell me while I'm sitting in this chair that, I don't know, if you don't have a culinary degree. Doesn't matter at this point.
And what's the lesson there?
The lesson there is that you have to know who you are and you can't let anybody else tell you what they think that you should be. If you know who you are, you stick to that. Because now it's over a year that I'm there. And actually, she's not. Hey, Stacey.
No, I cannot. Anyway.
Hey, girl. How's your life?
So I know, like I've come. Lord, I knew it was gonna be one of those interviews.
So did I.
So, aside from the work, I know community service is really important to you. You have some really cool workshops with youth. Tell me more about that.
Yes. Career days. I participate in summer camps when I can. I always carve out the time. I always try to make myself available for children. Chefs are a little different than they used to be. And I realize now it's like a cool thing. Like I've never seen so many children, that watch Food Network. And there was a 7-year-old, I walked into the class and she's like, I saw you. And I'm like, really? So, I realized that, if that's going to be one of my platforms, then I'll use it. If that's going to get their ear, then I'm going to use that. Because it's like chefs are like rock stars, now these days.
They have like kid cooking shows and all that.
Show them, like there's a workshop I participate in every year called Art Manifest at Robert Louis Stevenson High School. So I go in and I always try to find something healthy to show the kids that maybe you can make have like a quick after school snack they can make their own instead of going to the store. You don't know what you're getting and you're spending extra money. So the first time I went, I had them make healthy sandwiches and I showed them how to make a ranch dressing out of yogurt, using plain yogurt. February of 2015, I get a phone call. Hey, it's Flex. Who? I'm like, yeah, sure. And it was him, and he called me and asked me to cater his stepdaughter's Sweet 16, just from meeting me months prior, and he remembered.
And that's a nod to nothing beats shoe leather marketing. Putting your foot on the ground, getting in front of people, and breaking through the noise of this digital era that we're in. Relationship building is still a people business. I'm glad that you're really making that still work for you. And you're a testament to that.
Exactly. And I'll continue to do so because while social media it's a tool, sometimes it turns people into tools. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, I'm a very, tongue-in-cheek individual. When I first started on Instagram, I just used to post food. But then in this day and age, people like to share it. People like to know. But while my private business is still private, like a little glimmers of my personality on there, it started working for me. It was,
you're gaining followers, engagement, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Is that, I will say that as people scale up and, the more hands, the more help you need and, finding that right help. Some of the greatest advice I've ever heard, be slow to hire, quick to fire. And, okay, we know you trigger happy. how do you find good help when you need it? Especially, not aside from just the events and such, but also from the planning side, execution on bigger projects. What do you look for in quality people?
Number one, they have to be able to spell. In food, in catering, in event planning, there's not too much more important than that, other than, your demeanor, the way you interact with the client. You have to pay attention, because any little thing can throw a whole event off. Depending on what kind of dish it is, that little thing can throw that off. I don't want you running up the clock under my name. I want you to care, even if it's only 4 hours. I want you to care about this for 4 hours. Like, I want you to care a lot.
What is next for Feisty Flavors, Cindy?
A lot of my decisions are based on experiences, things, that happen, things I feel like I need to tweak. And one thing that I've experienced is that when you're at the mercy of someone else, especially when you're, let's say, renting from an incubator kitchen, you're pretty much...
Wait, hold on. What is an incubator kitchen?
Okay. There are people like me who have a food-based business, a catering business, what have you, and we don't have the funds for our own storefront or our own premises at the moment. There are places that you can rent out space, some hourly, some weekly, some monthly, however you need it. I don't get nervous about a lot, but I don't want to dive into something and then I'm in over my head. I can pay for it. I want to know exactly how I'm going to keep this up, because I play for keeps at this, especially now. There's something about when you hit 40, it's like, okay, you don't have time for anything. So that's something that I'm looking into right now, and hopefully I'll be able to help other people like me, because I think it's unfair. We're all in there trying to get ahead, and I just think that some of the practices of these kitchens are more of a hindrance, than anything.
And I'm excited for you. You can build community around that, because again, to your point, there are other people who've shared the same problems, and if you can be that solution, which you are a solution-driven woman, I'm excited to see this next chapter unfold.
So am I.
Thank you so much for joining us, Cindy. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to check us out every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for more career juice, where we get all of the juice that it takes for these wonderful professionals to succeed in all of the career paths that they chose. Talk soon.